Hello everyone, I'm Brian Dragon, and welcome back to Vox Adventures. It's New Year's Eve, and this is the last Vox Adventures episode of 2018. How? Where are they coming from? Where are they coming from? Oh, jeez. What goal is that? Well, streaming Metroid Fusion is gonna be out. Can't figure out how to render that. It seems like I can render a PlayStation 3 game, I can render a GameCube game. I just can't render around everything else. Well, here we are. It's daytime, and what am I gonna do? I can't imagine there's much I can do, now is there? I don't have Microsoft Word on this laptop, otherwise I'd hold up something to write. While we wait for the sun to set. Huh, well, it has only been 4 minutes. Well, anyway, I started reading 2 Lives of Charlemagne today. I'm not even past the introduction. There are 2 biographies in the same book. One written by someone who actually knew Charlemagne the Elder, by someone from after his time. Hair Programs International made some pretty good uh, animated television specials based off of classical literature. For one example, there's the travels of Marco Polo. Of course, if I'm going to make a genuine criticism, is that it's like so many others mispronounces the name of Hubla Han as Kubla Khan because, well, there's no hard C sound in the Mongolian language. Hubla, a dying Hubla Han, being by Margolet, he'd make the world remember him as the greatest ruler of men is a really heartwarming moment. And Hubla Han gets a really good line about his hunting lions, saying that even the king of beasts are his subjects, or even the king of beasts is his subject. Yes, that sounds about right. Of course, another criticism I have is the hair color of the Mongolian characters. If Genghis Khan, that's often mispronounced as Genghis Khan, was a redhead, then naturally his descendants would be as well, because apparently he actually was. Oh, great. Then naturally, uh, well, you get the idea. It's that stereotypical people of Asian descent all have black hair thing. I mean, obviously, with red hair being a thing in Mongolia, that stereotype isn't true, now is it? What's it called, a phenotype stereotype? Of course, it makes even less sense with Kublai Khan, because I believe he lived to be in his 70s. Yeah, maybe not quite as old. At least I think he lived to be in his 70s, so his hair would have long since lost its color, and either Ray portraying him as still lack of hair or red of hair, whichever you go with, it doesn't exactly seem accurate when you take aging into account, now does it? Air Programs International did their specials in the 70s, and in the case of their adaptation of From the Earth to the Moon, the late 60s. But mainly it was in the 70s. And you couldn't really show a lot of death. But even then they were able to get away with battles and stuff like that. And Kublai Khan dying of natural causes was deemed perfectly acceptable. Because it wasn't something violent. Where am I going? Wherever my feet take me. If you've never seen any of Air Programs International and stuff, you should. It's quite good. There is the occasional errors. For instance, their adaptation of Ivanhoe features the knights in suits of armor when that would have existed in the 12th century. Yeah, but they are otherwise very good. Uh, there's a bit of a repetition of voice. There's a circle of voice actors. For instance, Ron Hadrick often appears in them. And while the music is often reused, it's excellent. The same music in each special is often used. It's just terrific. They have what I call a swashbuckling theme. You hear it during the climax of the Ivanhoe special, and you actually hear it quite a bit. You hear it in Ivanhoe, you hear it in the Black Arrow. You even hear it in Moby Dick. At the beginning, where Queequeg engages in what I call swashbuckling with harpoons. Yeah. Fascinating, because the 1936 film adaptation of Last of the Mohicans has what I call swashbuckling with tomahawks. During the at the beginning of the final battle between Chingachgook and Moghra. Swords, harpoons, tomahawks. It's really incredible what you can swashbuckle with when you put your mind to it. API's adaptation of Moby Dick might have one of the strangest endings I've ever seen. Because it's actually a combination of the ending we see in the final product of the novel and an ending that Herman Melville had originally considered. Where you see in the ending he originally considered, the Whalers would have killed Moby Dick, but the right whale would have still destroyed the Pequod. Now, what happens in the API special is Ahab dies, You know, rope around the neck and all that. Moby Dick sinks the Pequod. Chingachgook Queequeg hurls his harpoon at a charging Moby Dick and kills the white whale. And then the whale's sinking corpse drags every poor soul down with him to the ocean depths, with only Ishmael being the sole survivor. That's a pretty fucked up ending when you think about it. Oh, and you want to hear something even stranger? Those familiar with the novel will remember the character of Fedallah, and how he ends up lost during an initial attack on Moby Dick. The API special, it actually keeps all that, and even keeps his corpse being caught in the harpoons and the harpoon ropes that are stuck to Moby Dick, and you actually see it in the special from a distance. Now keep in mind, this was made in the 70s. For the whole family, and that's pretty hardcore to actually keep that in. If you've never seen that special, I recommend it. That bit with Fedallah is incredible because you'd never expect it to be kept in a special made for television for the whole family in that day and age. Yeah, let's take the bridge across. Actually, now that I think about it, API's adaptation of Moby Dick probably has the biggest body count out of all of the special and based off of classical literature. Considering that Moby Dick basically kills an entire crew. experience. Another thing I like about API's adaptation of Moby Dick is that they actually keep the scene with the giant squid. Early in the story, a giant squid appears. And, well, I've only seen 3 adaptations, but for all, it's the only one I've actually seen where the squid appears. And it's quite nice. A touch, keeping something that even, well, I shouldn't have put, the Gregory Peck film adaptation on a pedestal and consider that Peck himself didn't like it. I'd say I'm lost. Where the hell am I? Well, that would be all for today, everyone. I'm Brian Croy Dragon signing out. Happy New Year.